Hello friends, I'm capusims. Welcome back for another speed build. But first, I want to inform you that a French voiceover for this video is already available. You can find it by clicking on the small link above the screen. Maybe you have noticed, but I'm a beginner YouTuber. So I think it's useful to introduce myself. My channel is called capusims. I'm a Sims 4 lover. I post speed builds, stop motions, etc. videos every week. And if you like my work, my builds, my videos, it would make a real difference for me if you subscribe, if you comment, or if you give a big thumbs up. So already thank you for that. Today, I pay a tribute to the city where I live, which is Brussels, Belgium. It's a city which is clearly not famous for its architecture. Architecture, not easy to pronounce, but which has retained a great number of what we call in French maison de maîtres, and which could be literally translated by a house for the masters, but simply means a mansion. A large number of these mansions were built in an urban environment, and the houses were therefore attached to each other, and they were quite thin and very high, with most often of the time 3 floors and the servants who lived under the roofs. In fact, the architect at the time worked very hard on the front facade by providing many details and very expensive embellishments, but they largely neglected the rear facade. As you can see in the video, they paid a lot of attention to the doors, to the windows, and I found in the Magic World pack some windows of Art Nouveau style that we can actually see on the regular houses here in Brussels. As you can see, the building is here in Windenburg. And I didn't choose this place by chance, but because it was the place that allowed the most realism compared to the atmosphere of Brussels. Even the less, we are still far from it. But that was the most accurate I could find in all the Sims 4 worlds. And you see here I've put some houses from the live edit catalog and attached them to my house and my building to give some more sense of realism to it. So for the interior plan, it's super easy to build because all of the maison maître mansions have the same scheme. It's always a large entrance corridor on the ground level, and the corridor has the stairs, which are normally largely embellished, and on each floor there are always 3 living rooms which can be used as bedrooms or kitchen or reception rooms and so forth. It depends on the house and how the landlords have decided to arrange it. Well, that's enough for the architecture lessons for now. I was telling you that I used the Magic World pack, but also the Strangerville pack, University and Vampire, all of which corresponded to the way houses were built in these times. And yeah, I think it all ends looking pretty good in the end, and we'll see it in a few minutes. I chose to make an old style decoration for this building. It was for fun and to go fully into the end exercise. But today, as these houses were not destroyed, they are now all decorated with modern furniture and are often really stylish. And I really hesitated. I had started to build a renovated interior before changing my mind. And this is the reason why there are some plans in the video where we see parts that I decided to change later and whose decoration I removed of the final cut. I decorated with great care the reception rooms on the ground floor because these houses were a place for the social life. The owners invited to their homes and they wanted to show off basically. On the upper floors, the finishes were already less luxurious. They replaced the oak floors with fir planks, for example, and so forth. Oh yes, and I see here that I also found a lot of items in the base game. As I think this very ancient and luxurious style inspired a lot the Sims 4 developers. I don't know why, but there are a lot of items that can be used for this build. And later, when I had finished the construction and the footages of this video, they make the announcement of the stuff pack paranormal, and when I saw the trailer, I was so disappointed because there are so many items I could use. I could have used for this building, but anyways, I think it ends up being quite nice and quite like I was expected for this building, and I hope you like it too. And I can tell you now that building and editing this video was a huge amount of work. Even though I had a super precise idea of what I wanted to do, I ended up with 8 hours of rushes. 8 hours. It was a complete nightmare to edit it, and I finally accelerated the video 10 times to end up with a 20-minute video, which is already super long. But above all, the real problem is that once I find myself with this 20-minute video, I have to find things to say during all this time. And believe me, it's not easy for me, even though in French. Yeah, and that's probably why I find myself doing a mini architecture course, even though I'm not an architect myself. Maybe the knowledge that I have of this type of house, since many Brussels residents like me live in this type of house, makes it possible to at least make the video a little bit informative. Oh, and one more information about these houses. I told you that they were not destroyed, but they were so big that many of them were transformed into apartments, one apartment per floor, and it has become very common and has created huge parking problems in Brussels as the number of households has been greatly increased by these transformations. None of this here. The house is built for a family of 5 and their housekeeper. And there is a master bedroom with an office, 3 children's bedrooms, another office for working from home, maybe, 2 bathrooms, a utility room, and a bedroom for the housekeeper, who, contrary to historical reality, is here on the ground floor just next to the kitchen. And we'll see it later. I decorated the housekeeper's room to look completely run down. How dreadful me. We are now on the first floor, where I put a large bathroom, a child's bedroom on the front facade, and the master bedroom on 2 pieces at the rear of the house. And then we immediately go to the higher floor, where we add 2 children's bedroom, one for a girl and one for a boy, a bathroom, the laundry room, and the additional office. It was not very historical to put computers everywhere, but I decided to leave them there. I told myself that this house with this particular decoration could still be inhabited by regular people today. And I think everyone therefore needs computers, especially in this era of massive teleworking due to the coronavirus. And speaking of that, just a quick digression to let you know that I hope you and your loved ones are doing as well as possible at the moment. This is a difficult time with a lot of fears and uncertainties. Not fun. It is not easy, not easy. So I hope you're as good as can be. And precisely, I have a small question for you. In my previous videos, the people who comment, they regularly tell me where they come from. And thinking about it, I thought I was going to create a Google map, sort of, and add a little pinpoint for all the people who tell me where they come from. I think the big YouTubers don't care. They have people all over the world. But for me, who recently started this channel, it's quite meaning the world to me. And on those views, sorry, of the rooms, and when you get to know the Sims a little bit, you realize how outrageous the space was in these houses. You really understand why people ended up separating them and putting their entire homes on one single floor, because it was more than enough for them. They simply didn't need so much space. Who needs such a space? I'm pretty sure that in Paris or something, there are whole families who live in the space of only one of these rooms. I wouldn't definitely be surprised. We are lucky here in Brussels. We are far from experiencing the same housing difficulties as in other large cities or capitals, when people have to spend all their money by renting a very small studio, but very expensive. So that's a shame. And we are really, really lucky here in Brussels. This is not a real problem. Living in the capital of Belgium and Europe is affordable for many people here. And even young people who settle in, it is not uncommon for them to buy a large house and offer a floor or rooms for rent. It's something that's quite usual here in Brussels. And that's nice, that's cool. And another thing that I love is the small town gardens that some of these houses have in front of their door. Some people have bulldozed it and have installed parking spacing a long time ago, but it's strictly forbidden, actually. And fortunately, the authorities are gradually forcing people to restore their front garden. So that's a good thing. And yeah, we're making some landscaping here because every front garden is different. And as you can see, there are different levels too, because they weren't too restrictive rules for these houses. We saw it just before. The house that I built has an elevated ground floor, and that's not the same for the other houses. And I know it wouldn't be possible in towns like Paris, where the urbanistic rules were really, I don't know the word, but they were applied very strictly. And in Brussels, it was not the same thing. So, little difference, another one between the two towns, Brussels and Paris. Here we are at almost at the end of the construction. And there I've just realized that I forgot the fireplaces in the bedrooms. But there was it's really an important mistake, because there was a fireplace in each of the living rooms, including the bedrooms, since the central heating did not exist at the time. So it was really important for people to have fireplaces in every room. At this point in the construction, I really add the final details, the cluttering, the decoration, and I realize by watching the video that I always do it in layers. I don't know if it means something to to you, but I in all the rooms of the house, I clutter it, I decorate it for a first pass. Then I look at the general effect. I find that is not enough. Then I add yet another layer of cluttering and decoration and so on until the end. And I think maybe that's, well, possibly it's why it ends up always taking me so much time to record the my speed builds, and and that's why after that I'm in trouble with my editing of videos and so forth. And now we're making the housekeeper's room. I told you I want it to be really run down, and you'll see it later. I'll put another flooring. I add some calcs from Vampire Stuff Pack, and so on to make it look worse than it is really. And yes, that's fun. I don't think if I had a housekeeper, I think I would like her or him to have the best room I could afford for him, but I think at the time it was not the same. People wanted to spend their money for their selves and not for their employees. And now again decorating, put some cluttering and stuff in the kitchen, which ends up being really nice, I think. It's a beautiful kitchen. And by the way, it's the moment to remind you that if you want to play with this construction, as well as all my constructions, they are available in the gallery, the Sims 4 gallery, and you will find them by searching for the hashtag capusims, 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 hashtag capusims on the Electronic Arts gallery. This is how this build ends. Thank you for being with me. And before the final screenshot, I have just enough time to tell you that if you liked this video, you can support me by subscribing to the channel, by commenting this video, by giving me a big thumbs up, or maybe also by subscribing to my social media. It's the beginning for me, and yeah, I really appreciate your support. And yeah, another thing, wherever you are, I wish you all the best, and I will meet you very, very soon for a new video. Bye bye!